Welcome back. Again, we have the governor with us. Let's get right to the questions, Governor Sununu.
Sure.
Michael is asking, are you going to lift the ban anytime soon? We can see that this is not killing the millions like we were told. Governor, what do you say to people who say this is not making a difference?
The ban on essential businesses, maybe the stay-at-home order? I'm going to assume he's probably talking about the stay-at-home order.
Sure.
The answer is at least not until May 4th. And then as we approach that, we'll try to see where we can go. The idea that this isn't killing millions of people so we can just go back to the way it was, that is a horrible, horrible misunderstanding of the situation. We lost 5 people in just the past couple of days. We have over 100 hospitalized, and this very well could be more. The big fear is this, is that if we come out of this too fast, if we flex everything and go back to, quote, normal too quickly, you're going to see another spike. And the second spike could be even worse than the first for a variety of different reasons. So we can't let ourselves get into that position, which is why I tell people we got to stay disciplined. The people of New Hampshire deserve a lot of credit because we were so physically separated. We stayed disciplined. We shut down businesses and schools when we had to. That is exactly why we're in such an advantageous position today. We're not in a position like New York or even Boston because we reacted quickly, we saved lives, and actually hopefully we can get back quicker, but we got to be very careful and be very safe about it.
Now, Patty is asking, restaurants are taking a severe hit. Is there any way the state can waive the 9% rooms and meals tax until the crisis is over?
So waiving the 9%, I've gotten a lot of questions about waiving the 9% room and meals tax. The answer is no, we're not going to do that, but we have a lot of other opportunities. So one is the federal government is providing the Paycheck Protection Program. If you run a small business, especially a restaurant, call your bank. They have a great access point to the SBA. This is 8 weeks of pay for your staff and employees in a short-term loan that, as long as you keep everyone employed, is forgiven on the back end. It essentially turns into a grant. That's an awesome opportunity for some of these small businesses. The state is going to have over $1 billion. We don't have the money yet. As soon as we have it, hopefully in the next couple of weeks with some guidance, we're going to get that money out very, very quickly. And businesses and hospitality, restaurants, hotels, those have been that hit the hardest are going to be a lot of the ones that are going to be first in line. Nonprofits, hospitals, healthcare facilities. There's going to be a lot of money and a lot of opportunity to go around. So we tell people to hold on tight. The federal government has come in very quickly, and hopefully when we get that federal relief money in the next few weeks, we'll be able to do the same thing.
Alicia asks, I heard campgrounds are taking reservations starting May 1st. Will this be supported or follow the same guidelines as the hotels?
No, so the hope is that campgrounds will stay open, absolutely. Campgrounds are very different. They're out in the open air. There's usually a lot more physical distancing between the sites. There's usually less than 10 people. Now, we may have to put some guidelines in that make some slight adjustments, but it's my vision that we allow campgrounds to stay open just with some different guidelines. So that's the hope, and I think we're going to get there.
Courtney asks, are summer camps even going to be an option?
Summer camps are tough. We've gotten a lot of questions about summer camps because obviously a lot of those camps want to start taking reservations now. We're not there yet at all, and I don't have a good answer for that other than to say there's so much one-on-one and group contact with a lot of those summer camps, the overnight camps especially, and the day camps. If you've been to any of them, my kids have. I grew up at summer camp here in New Hampshire. There's a lot of direct contact there, and again, we can't allow a situation to potentially let the flare-ups happen. If we can get to a point in the coming weeks or even months where there's better pharmaceuticals or something that helps maintain those symptoms or helps suppress the viral spread, maybe there's something out there that can really give us confidence of making such a leap, but that's going to be a tough one.
Heidi asks, are there any plans for modifications to our upcoming election, such as no excuse absentee voting and or voting by mail?
So we have very flexible absentee laws in the state in the next coming days. The Secretary of State and the Attorney General will be putting out guidance. I think that will show that basically if you have any concerns over the COVID issue, you can vote absentee. So there's no need to do a no excuse absentee because it actually allows for it. The flexibility does allow for it in our current configuration.
All right, Governor, thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate
Anytime.
it. Very valuable information here. All right, let's get things over to Mike Haddad right now.